Good morning, everybody. Welcome to TBTV. So today's topic comes from one of my subscribers. It's a young lady that I've been knowing for many years. She's been sending me different ideas, different I guess recordings of other people that may be speaking about different things, and she's sending them to me because she wants my take on them. So I always let her know that I'm going to look it over and I'll see how does this particular thing pertain to me, so that I may be able to best bring it to you. This particular topic is focusing on why women don't feel protected, and in particular, why Black women don't feel protected. I listened to it and it instantly, I'm being for real, it instantly resonated with me. And I could instantly relate to it. The young lady on the video, she gave, some brief examples about Black women not feeling protected, like this being like basically like a systematic thing, something that comes from way back, and she's correct. Something that come from way back, generations back, where Black women don't or did not feel protected. And now this particular thing is coming all the way up to today's times, where Black women continue to be in a position where we feel like that we totally are on our own, that we have to protect ourselves in every instance, being it personal, your work environment, if you in a relationship, with somebody, you still got to protect, you still have to protect yourself. You know what I'm saying? This stuff comes from generations and generations of Black women not feeling protected. And when she was saying this stuff, I said, this lady is right. You know what I'm saying? This lady is right. But I guess I want to elaborate on how right she is. I'm going to give some examples of the things that happen in my life, showing how a lot of times when we as Black women don't feel protected, it ain't just start right now. It didn't just start right now. All of a sudden now, I'm 51 years old and I don't feel like nobody is going to protect me. I don't feel like nobody got my back. Or if I was to find myself in this situation, I don't think nobody would be there for me. This didn't start right now. Okay? If you're listening right now, I want you to keep on listening, so then you can be able to really get some of these different examples and see where I'm coming from when I'm saying that if you are a Black woman and you are right now in your life, your current life, you 27, you 35, you 41, you're 51 like myself, you're 60 something. I want you to realize that you not feeling protected did not just start. It did not just start. A lot of times, if you were to reflect back on your life, you would see that whole thought process of not feeling protected most likely a lot of times started way back when you were a child, okay? And just occurrence or instance after instance kept on happening that compounded themselves on top of each other, that got you to a point of where you are now, where you feel like I got to have my own back in every situation. Nobody is going to be there for me if whatever happened. I don't care, no matter how big or how small the situation may be. I'm on my own. Point in case. From the time that I was 3 years old, I was, I guess, being verbally abused. I was being verbally abused. I was being verbally abused by my step grandmother very badly. Okay. So that was I guess the first memory that I had of not feeling protected, because when you're inside of your home, okay, number one, when you're a child, your protection totally comes from the people that are taking care of you. Mothers, fathers, grandmothers, grandfathers, aunts, uncles, this and that. So that's your first line of defense. That's supposed to be your first line of defense. But it wasn't. I learned very early that If people don't like you or people don't care for you or something like that, they can treat you however they want to treat you. And you just have to deal with it. Okay? That's called not being protected. Okay? So that was number one. Okay? It was to the point that, and then me, the example of me learning that, because she first started being very cruel. I mean, that's the best example I can give. She was being very cruel towards me on a regular basis. My step grandmother would let me know that I was very ugly. You know what I'm saying? This is what she would tell me. She would constantly let me know how she wasn't my grandmother. And she used to lock me into a bathroom. So this would be when my mother would leave and would leave us there, me, because I was the oldest sibling. And I had a little sister and a little brother. And those two were her grandkids, but I was not her grandchild. And so when my mother would leave, and my mother was gone for 3 hours, 4 hours, she would lock me into this bathroom. And she would curse me through the bathroom door and let me know how I wasn't her granddaughter. That's the whole point. So by the time I reached 5, I learned to protect myself as best I could from these attacks that were coming from my step grandmother. Okay, so by the time I was 5, we had moved to another house. When we moved to this other house, there was no bathroom or anything for her to lock me in or whatever. And I'm going to step back for 1 second. My step grandmother was a belligerent drunk. So it's not like it wasn't times that she was not probably nice or whatever. But as soon as she got that drink in her, she wasn't. And the way that she behaved, or all her anger, or all her, I guess, ignorance, or whatever you want to call it, she geared it towards me for whatever reason. It did not matter that I was a child. Okay? Plain as day, when she looked at me, I was a child that wasn't her child. Okay? Or her grandchild. I did not come from her blood, from her lineage. And so she reminded me of that every time she got the drink in her. So now, an example of me learning very early on that it was my job, my responsibility to protect me. When she would start cursing at me, she didn't have a bathroom or anything like that to just lock me in where I couldn't just come out. She would just curse me openly. She would just sit on the couch like I'm sitting on the couch now. And she would, my grandmother, my step grandmother would curse me. So I wouldn't have to just look dead in this woman's face and look and see the dislike, see the disgust, the whatever it was that I was seeing in this lady's face that let me know that I'm not chosen. I'm not the one that she's choosing. We had long drapes, okay? And I would go and I would stand behind the long drapes. Okay, I was a 5-year-old girl at the time. I would stand behind these long drapes and I would just stand there 45 minutes, an hour, however long, and I would just listen to her talk to me. You know what I'm saying? Listen to her curse me. So by the time I was 5 years old, that was now my first time learning or realizing that it was my job to protect myself. So that was my way of protecting myself from having to look at her, was hiding behind these curtains. So that's number one. Number two, the second time that I realized that I didn't have any protection was still when I was 5. By then we had moved away from there and we had moved back to our family home. When I got back there, I was molested for the first time. So this was at 5. When I was molested at this time, the person that was molesting me was caught. It was a teenager, and this teenager, I recall, to me, it didn't seem like that he got into any trouble, okay? But my mother beat me, okay? My mother beat me. My mother beat me like really bad. So at 5 years old, you know, the first some sort of sexual contact or something that was placed on me, to me, learned early on that, or thought early on that what was happening or what had happened to me was my own fault. All right. So moving forward in my life, From 5 all the way until I was around 12 or 13, I had multiple instances in my life where I was being sexually abused or molested, or however you would want to say it, by different people. Now, moving forward, those other instances that were occurring were occurring by the hands of adults, okay? Grown men were constantly doing something to me in some way, shape, or form. And from that first instance at 5 years old, when it happened, and I was beat for that happening to me. I was beat. I wasn't talked to. I wasn't sat down and said that what happened to you is not your fault, baby. I'm so sorry. I wasn't embraced and hugged and treated with love. I was cursed, beat, laid down in the bed, basically put on punishment because someone had sexually assaulted me. So from that point on, anytime that someone sexually assaulted me or molested me, I kept my mouth tight. I kept my mouth tight because I learned I have to protect myself. That's what it told me. It told me that you responsible for you, Keita. You responsible for what somebody has done to you. That's your fault. Okay. And as I was growing up, I was constant, things like this were constantly being said to me. You know what I'm saying? By my parent. You know, anytime that my mother noticed that it seemed like that some man or something like that were showing some sort of interest in me, my mother would constantly let me know that I was fast, I was grown. She would make me stay strapped up, you know what I'm saying, and layers of clothes, like robes, like you had the nightgown. My sister would be able to just walk around however. She would be able to walk around however, and we were both smaller like girls, but I was shapely from the age of maybe 8 years old. So I had to stay with a gown and a robe on and things of that nature because I guess my shape in itself was enticing men. And my mother, constantly let me know that I was so grown and I was so fast and I was so this. I was a normal kid. So I thought, you know what I'm saying? I just so happened to have whatever, I guess the body parts or whatever. But these type of things taught me early on that I was responsible for making sure that I was all right. So again, moving forward, as I go into my teenage years, once I became a teenager, now, okay, yeah, I can see that I'm shapely. I can see that, that boys are attracted to me or whatever and like me. But now it's to the point of where when boys like me, if a boy liked me and I did not show any interest back, they fought me. They fought me. Okay. When I was 11, I was punched in the nose right in front of my house by a boy who, and we get along okay now when we see each other because we come from the same block. It's funny. But I remember, because me and his kid's mother just had spoke last year, and she never knew this. You know what I'm saying? And I had told her, I said, girl, when we were kids, he punched me in my nose, because he's a couple of years older than me. So he's probably was 6, 7 years older than her, this young lady who ended up having kids with this guy. He punched me in my nose because it made my nose bleed because I would not be his girlfriend or whatever. Then turn around, 2 boys when I was like 15 years old. These 2 boys from the other side of the park, on the other side of our elementary school. It was, all of the kids on that side. And these 2 boys, they come over on our side of the block. And these 2 boys, one of them, he started trying to talk to me. And when he started trying to talk to me, I'm basically telling him, going on. I don't like you like that or whatever. This boy placed his finger on my nose like this. I remember that. When he placed his finger on my nose, my hand grabbed a hold to his finger. Once I grabbed a hold to this boy's finger, we started fighting. When I say we, and it was everybody standing out there. This was a summer day, I remember. And we began to fight down to the ground. When I say, I hung with that boy. We fought. okay? It's like once everything was over, I sprung back up. I sprung back up on the ground. But the boy, I feel like he felt embarrassed, because it's no way in the world I should have hung with him like that, because he had this reputation for being this badass, just being for real. So it's no way in the world, I guess, in his mind that I should have hung with him in the way that I did. And then his friend had liked me too. But his friend, I guess he felt like, oh, okay, this B thinks she all of this. So the friend just walked up to me. After I got finished fighting with his homeboy, the friend walked up to me and let me know, B, you ain't all that. Slapped me so damn hard. When I say in front of everybody, slapped me so damn hard. This was when I was 15 years old. And I remember this grown lady that was standing out there. She thought it was the funniest thing. She thought it was the funniest thing. So what I'm on, like, what, thing number 4? And she stood out there and she just hollered out. She said, damn, he just slapped the out of her. And people just bust out laughing like, it was cute. It was funny. So what's that? Like thing number 4, where I realized that ain't nobody gonna protect me. Because do you think that anybody tried to break up that fight? Do you think that anybody said to the friend of the boy that I fought, who now his friend had just slapped me in front of everybody? I'm a girl. I'm a one girl, 15 years old, and I done got fought by the one boy and then slapped out of me about the other one. And the only thing that gets said by a grown woman that's standing out there is, he just slapped it like it was funny. Like it was funny. So now we're going to move forward some more. I remember standing out at a bus stop. While I'm standing at the bus stop waiting to go to school, a boy from the next block over, this boy 2 years younger than me, he's my sister age. This boy walked up to me at the bus stop. This boy's trying to start talking to me. Going on. As I'm telling him to going on. The bus was approaching. And I guess I'm not paying attention because going on, okay? This boy stepped down in front of me. I'm standing right at the curb. And he stepped down in the street. And before this boy went to walk away, this boy slapped the out of me. Slapped me and took off running. You see what I'm saying? People at the bus stop, they stand there. I mean, really, what was they supposed to do? They don't know me like that. You know what I'm saying? So, yet again, this was like I say, is a constant thing, pattern that I was noticing that was going on in my life, where ain't nobody giving a doggone about what's happening to me. This black girl, this little black girl, this young black girl, whatever. I guess, I don't know if they could have been thinking she must have did something to him. It got to be a reason why he just done walked up to her at this bus stop and just slapped her. But it was no reason other than the fact that this boy liked me and I didn't show any interest. Okay, so what's that? That's thing number 5. Okay, and I'm doing these things, ladies, people, period, so you can see that when you get to this point right now where you feel like you are on your own and you have to take care of yourself. I mean, women out here carrying mace all the time. Women out here having guns, things like that. Women out here going to self-defense classes or whatever it is that you're doing or whatever. This didn't just pop in your mind just now. This didn't. I would like to think, because I know it did not. For me to have a mace just sitting in my purse and mace on my keys on a regular basis, you know what I'm saying, it's hanging from me and getting in certain places and I'm holding the mace in my hand while I'm in the line. This didn't just start. This came from all the way back, that little girl that was 3 years old, okay, all the way up until now, who kept on having things happen, thing after thing after thing after thing. Look. Again, now, thing number 6, an example. One day I was leaving my boyfriend at the time. I was leaving his house. This was early in the morning. This was early in the morning, maybe around 6 a.m. Okay, I done left his house and I'm getting on back home because I ended up spending the night and I'm trying to get home. So my kids were small. And I'm trying to get home so I can get my my boys off to school. And so when I hit the corner of Mack and Van Dyke, okay, because I was still living on my my neighborhood street at this time. When I stopped at the light on Van Dyke, so I'm driving, what I want to say, I'm driving south. I was going to make the right onto Mac. So I'm only two streets away from my street. As I'm sitting there, this police car rolled up on my left. The police officer, my window cracked a little bit. The police officer started trying to talk to me, the one that was in the driver's seat. He leaned down, looking up into my window, and he's trying to talk to me through the window. And what's up, baby this, what's up, baby that, whatever. He asked me to let down my window. How you doing, baby? La, la, let down my window. And I ended up saying to him, I'm not interested. And when I said I wasn't interested, that made him mad. That made him so mad. As soon as I turned to make that right turn to travel down Mac, I just started. That little sound that the police car made. When I say this man went across that walkie-talkie or speaker or whatever it is that they have in their car, and he said, pull over. He told me to pull over. And I'm thinking, is this man talking to me? And he called out the color. I was in the minivan. He called it out and he told me, pull over right now. So I just got over to the side. It's like, now what could I have done, y'all? What could I have done that quickly? I pull over to the side. When I pull over, he gets over like how they do, gets up there. No, he got behind me. It was him. He was a black officer and his partner was a white officer. They both got out of the car and he came over and he told me to get out. And I'm like, what did I do? Get out. He hollering at me. Okay. I get out. When I get out, he made me step to the back of the vehicle. So I'm standing there. He gonna start talking. When I say this man talking to me, just like he any old whatever type of man. He hasn't said that my tail lights were broke. I failed to put on the blinker. I was speeding. I couldn't have been speeding because you were just talking to me right there. He didn't say any of these things. He gonna tell me I think I'm all bad, all this stuff. So I ended up crossing my arms like this because I'm saying, okay, this man is on some bull. He gonna tell me, oh, you gonna cross your arms? He started yanking on my arms. I would not let him go. I could see the panicky look in the white officer because the white officer was a young officer. This particular guy was an older officer. I was in my 20s at the time. This man looked like he was like mid-30s. Well, I just kept my arms and he was yanking all on my arms. I remember it was this guy, like, he looked to be like a homeless like type guy that was walking down Mac right at the time. And he said to the officer, why you messing with her? Okay. When he said that to the officer said, so that's funny. Okay. It takes this homeless guy was the one person who, in all of these instances that I done said from 3 to now, here I am in my 20s. This one homeless guy had the nerve to go on and speak up and say, why you messing with her? Why are you doing this? Because he can see that it look weird because I'm not doing nothing. I'm standing here with my arms folded while this man yanking on me. He told that homeless man he better get the F on. Okay, he let him know, get the F on and keep on walking down the street and man your business. And the man went on and kept on walking. Okay, so again, why do we always feel like that as black women, we unprotected? Because even the one person that did try to protect me, it wasn't even nothing that this man could really do. It was nothing he could really do. He did voice his concern about it, but that officer let him know immediately, this ain't none of your business. What you gonna do? What you gonna do about it? And really, what was he gonna do? So the man kept on walking, and now I'm just standing there yet again by myself. Why these officers, the white officer, I can't even lie, he never even said anything. He was just standing there with a look on his face like, what in the hell is going on? But the black officer just went on and continued with all his rant and this and that or whatever. And what I ended up doing is I just said to him, that's okay. Well, you going on and you do whatever you want to do, because I'm going to be down there at the 7th precinct later. Okay. And that's what I ended up doing. Okay. At the time, the guy that my mother was dating, he had been working at the 7th precinct for a number of years. And I looked at that man's name on his badge and his badge number, and I remember that. And when I got around the corner, I told my mother's boyfriend, and we went down there to the precinct because the man even made me get back in my car and he wrote me a false ticket. And we went down there, we talked to the sergeant at the police department, and they got the whole situation rectified and threw out or whatever, because this man had a history of doing this type of thing. So when I say that was instance number 6. Okay, I'm going to give you all another instance. This is another instance with a police officer. This police officer, I met him at a Coney Island on Gratiot by 7 Mile. When I met this guy, light-skinned guy, handsome, this and that, this man, I done ordered my food and I came back outside and I'm sitting there and I'm waiting for my food. When I come back out, this particular officer, he is shining a light. I was driving a Suburban at the time. He's shining a light and all this stuff all up into my truck, and I'm trying to figure out, what's this all about? Why are you doing this? So, however it is, he ended up now trying to bring it all down and trying to talk to me. Well, I ain't showing any interest, because I guess that experience, because by now I'm in my 30s, that experience from that other officer gave me a sour taste in my mouth about police officers. I'm not going to lie. Like, they think that they can do whatever they want to people. Well, the long story short of this particular situation is, we got to remember, your license plate on the back of your car. My license plate on the back of my car is registered to my home. So now I start seeing this officer. He driving. I seen him on 7 Mile and Gratiot. At this time, I owned a home that was by 8 Mile and Shana. That ain't right close to each other that you would just see. You would just, just so happen you would end up on my street. I'm sitting on my front porch a couple of times, you know what I'm saying, over the next weeks, and who cruising down my street slowly and looking all at me, like letting me know, I know where you live at. I know where you live at. So I ended up going to the police station, which the police station for that area was the 9th precinct on Gratiot. I ended up having to write a whole long report on this officer for harassment, letting him know I met this man, but really I met him because he was flashing a flashlight all up inside of my vehicle while I was in the Coney Island. I came out. This man was parked to the right of me and was flashing a flashlight in there, tried to talk to me. I didn't show any interest in him. As a result of me not showing any interest in him, obviously he got my address by running my plate, and then he started driving down my street like stalking me. I don't have time for this. This man is scaring me, and he is a police. Do you see what I'm saying? Again, women, this stuff didn't just start with us as black women feeling like we aren't protected. This is the stuff that goes on. So what was that? Number 7? That was number 7, and this is now in my 30s. Here y'all go. Number 8. Number 8. I was at this club called Jumpin' Jacks. I think, if I can remember, it was over by the Quinder and 8 Mile area. I'm with my sister and her friends. It's a club, I think, that was connected to a bowling alley. That was the only time I had ever been at this place. I remember, I feel like I was looking really cute that night, y'all. I do. I was sitting there, I had on these little jeans, and I can't remember what the top was, but I remember I had on these jeans that were my favorite jeans. I had on this little suede jean, little hat, you know what I mean? I'm sitting there feeling like I'm fly as I don't know what, right? And so this guy comes and he sits next to me, and he starts trying to talk to me. Okay, and I'm a person that, I'll give casual or whatever contact, conversation, shall I say. But if I don't feel like I want to have a long drawn out conversation or exchange my number with you, let me go there, then I'm not going to change my number. This is how I was. But I will, okay, we can sit here and have small talk while you are here, but no, I'm not going to give you my number if I'm not interested. And I'm definitely not going to give you my number if I am in a relationship, or like in my 20s, I was married. I have a husband or this or that. I'm not going to give you my number. Well, this guy, he did not take too kindly to me not wanting to give him my number. So I'm sitting there, I ain't paying no attention. I'm rocking Bible to the music. I'm sipping on the store. I'm drinking my little drink. And the next thing I know, y'all, this man's hands was down in the back of my pants. This man literally, I'm sitting up on the bar stool. I got to say that. We was along the bar, okay? So I'm sitting here. My sister and her friends were sitting at some tables behind, They not paying no attention. Ain't nobody paying no attention. But before I knew it, I felt a whole hand down on the back of my behind, and this man grabbed a hold to my panties and pulled my panties up and was grabbing onto them, and I swung my hand back. Get your hands off! And it ended up being a big scene in this place. It ended up being a big scene. So again, why don't we feel protected? Because we are subjected to constant situations like that. And as a result of this man digging his hands down in my pants because I would not give him my number, this started a cycle of me just giving me and my number. This started a cycle of me just giving me and my number. I remember when my daughter was about 11 or 12 years old, and we were at the mall, and this guy came up to me and was trying to talk to me. And my daughter could tell, I know you ain't like him, Ma. She could tell I ain't like him. She could tell he wasn't my type. She could just tell he was not no man of the whatever caliber that her mother would date. But I gave this guy my number. And she said to me, Ma, why you give him your number? He don't look like nobody you'll talk to. And you know what I explained to my daughter? I said, Kayla, I say, you want to know why I gave that man my number? I say, because sometimes this is what we as women, we as black women have to do. We have to just do this. She was like, wow, I ain't gonna give nobody my number that I don't want to give my number. You don't have to give nobody. I say, Kayla, you don't even understand the type of things that your mother has been through. You don't understand all of the situations that I have been subjected to as a result of men feeling like, oh, I think I'm all that and I don't want to like them. I say, men do not take rejection too well. I say, this is what I've learned in my experience. Men do not really take rejection well, and men who don't take rejection well, a lot of times they will fight you. She like, fight you? I say, they will fight you. I say, your mother has been slapped numerous times. I say, I've had men dig all down into my pants. I've had men, you know, I didn't even name this instance that I had at my job. You know, I'm saying this to you all. I haven't named this instance. I had an instance that happened at my job, so we're gonna say instance number 9. And I'm naming all of these things, and it could be far more than that, but things that just come right to my mind. This particular thing, and I didn't forget that I'm talking that this thing that I explained to my daughter. I'm just sidetracking for a second. This instance that ended up happening at my job. This is when I'm around, I want to say 35. Something of that nature, 34, 35. I go up to the locker room, get my coat, everything. This is at night. I'm about to leave work, and when I come out of the locker room, it's a number of carts that sit there. Usually, who would sit there? It would be a lot of the we call them old timers. They will be sitting there at the end of the day. Well, this one particular guy that was sitting there, he asked me, could he drive me up to the locker room? I mean, to the to the gate, you know, where I'm about to exit. And I said, no, thank you. When I said no, thank you to him, he like, no, thank you. This man instantly got mad about me telling him, no, thank you. I didn't need a ride. Okay. Now it is a nice distance down there to the to the gate, but I'm okay. I'm okay. I don't need a ride. Well, this man instantly got upset with me. Oh, you don't need my ride. You don't need my ride. Oh, what, I ain't good enough for you? I ain't just, no, sir. I'm just talking as I'm walking. And I'm saying, no, it's not that. It's just that I don't need a ride. Well, another guy had ended up riding up on a cart. This guy was my age, maybe about 2 years older than me. And this guy had a popular reputation in the plant. So I guess this man felt like, oh, I bet you she'll accept his ride. So he said to this guy, oh, give her a ride down to the gate. Because, oh, yeah, I know she want a ride from you. And so the guy said to me, you want a ride, babe? And I was like, no, no, thank you. And he looking like, you know, well, why he say that? I was like, because he didn't offer me a ride. And I said no. And so I guess now he's mad. And so the guy said, so you sure you don't want a ride? And I said, no, I'm fine, thank you. And he rode off. Well, the other guy, he goes on to say to me, oh, you think you are that? You look at how you dress. I'm dressed just the way you all see me on any of these videos a lot of times. You know, I wear clothes that's fitting clothes or whatever. And I guess the fact that I'm wearing stuff that's fitting to my shape or what have you, he did not approve, okay? So he said, look at how you dress. Look at how you dress. He told me that I look like a slut and all this other kind of stuff. He said, I ought to go up to HR on you. And I said, you ought to go up to HR. Now, I'm standing there. I did end up stopping y'all, okay? I can't recall if I was waiting on somebody else to come out of the locker room, so we was going to walk up. I can't remember that because I know I had stopped, and I'm just standing there waiting. And he ended up saying to me, I should go up to HR on you for how you look. And he ended up calling me a B and telling me, B, pull your pants down, B, pull your pants down. At that point, everybody, they stand out there looking like, oh my God, oh my God. And he telling her to pull her pants down and this and that. At this point, I'm tired of it, y'all. I'm tired of it because the total disrespect, all because I said no thank you, that I didn't need a rag. And you're about a 50-something, a 60-year-old man. This whole thing that you're doing as a result of me saying I did not want to ride was just, it was just at the point of, this too much. This too much. So I said, you know what? Now I'm about to go to HR on you. So I walked on up there because it's in the direction of where I'm going to. I have to pass the offices for HR going to the gate to leave. I went up there to HR. I spoke to them at HR. And again, ladies, this goes back to when we say why we don't feel protected, and especially as Black women not feeling protected. When I got up there to HR, and the HR guy that I had to speak to was a white gentleman. Okay, this white gentleman appeared to be, I want to say late 40s, early 50s, something of that nature. Remember, I said I was around 34, 35 at the time. When I got up there to HR, this man ended up letting me know he don't have no help for me. Look at you. Look at you. Look at how you look. Look at how you dressed. Okay? My wife, I would dare let my wife come in here looking like that, this and that. He let me know that the way that I was being treated, I deserved that. I brought that on myself. So, bye-bye. We don't have no help for you. When I say I left out of that place feeling crushed, feeling defeated, feeling like this is that I've been going through all my life. It seemed like I have been punished my whole life for looking the way that I look. Like I'm supposed to feel bad about the fact that I guess that I look halfway decent. I'm supposed to feel bad about the fact that I was born with a proportion looking shape. I'm supposed to feel bad that men are attracted to me, but I may not be attracted back. I'm supposed to feel bad about all of this stuff. So when I left that place, I don't recall getting really no sleep that night. And I woke up that next morning frustrated. I was frustrated about this whole situation. And I decided to call a lawyer. I called a lawyer over in Southfield and they told me to come in right then. I ended up missing that day of work that day. I went in. No. Let me take that back. No, I didn't. I got into work late. I went over and I explained the entire situation to the law firm. They told me I had a case, but they said, this is how we're going to do it. They gave me that card and they said, I want you to go on in to work. I want you to go straight to HR. Go straight to HR. Do not go to your job. Go straight to HR. I want you to give them this card, and I want you to tell them that you retained me as your this law firm as your attorneys. I want you again to ask for help for the situation that has happened to you. And if they say again that they're not going to help you, and due to, how you look, this and that, you done brought whatever on yourself, they told me to call them back the next day. And from that point, we were going to file suit against the company. I did exactly what they said. Ladies. I did it. And guess what? I didn't go out on the floor the whole entire day. They didn't make me work the entire day. They had me sitting in there and they wanted me to write statements on everything that I say or claim happened to me, okay, in a time frame, in a course of time that I had been at that place, working at that job. Do you all know that I was in there for about 6-7 hours, okay? I wrote 9 pages front and back on one of those yellow legal pads, all right, of all the different men that had been sexually harassing me during the time that I had been working there. And by that time, I had been there about 4 or 5 years. When I say I had so many different instances that had occurred, and on basically all of those instances, but short of maybe one, I had went to somebody. be it union, okay? And I'm saying from stewards to committee men to presidents to management that all brush me off. All brushed me off. And now, finally, now, after going to an attorney, I was sitting there now having to rehash all of those things. The sad part I'll say about that, I had been protecting myself for so long, and I had learned how to deal with the things that these guys had done to me. Even, I mean, to the fact that a number of them, I would still say, hey, how you doing to them and this and that, even though they were being constantly disrespectful or vulgar or whatever to me, because it was just like, what was I supposed to do? But now that I had to write all this stuff down on a statement, a number of all of these guys ended up getting in trouble as a result of me having to put it in a statement. Okay, so now that ended up now again why black women we don't feel protected. Once this got out in my workplace, I began to be attacked from every direction. Okay, I began to be, as they say, ostracized or whatever by not only men but women, because these men that I had accused in this 9-page statement now had women that were their friends, women that they were dealing with, you know, girlfriends or this or that. And these women started spreading all kind of things around. They started approaching me, you know, saying stuff to me about it, letting me know how wrong I was, you know, for putting these statements out. I'm sorry, ma'am, that this is your boyfriend or this or that. Okay, but your boyfriend did it. Okay, I'm sorry, ma'am, that your good homeboy or friend did this, but your friend did it. But again, this goes back to when I say of why we as black women don't feel protected. Because even when other black women learn that something has happened to you, rather them come and even if they want to say something to you about it, ask you about it and say, dang, Keita, I didn't know that happened or this or that. I'm sorry to hear it. They came on an attack. They started acting snotty towards me. They basically started blackballing me. This one lady in particular that I ended up saying something to her because her man in particular had told HR, this man told them that he used to go with me, okay, to protect himself. This man ended up telling them that he used to go with me. And not only did he used to go with me, he told them that he brought me a car. This man told them that he had bought me a car before. Okay, so this investigation ended up lasting for 4 or 5 months. I ended up being laid off in that 4 or 5 month time frame. The company brought me back into labor and they sat down and had a discussion with me. And they're talking to me. Now, the people, it was a person from labor and it was a person from the union. And they're literally talking to me, okay, interrogating me. And they saying, he didn't buy you a car. No, he ain't buy me no car. I'm like, what the hell are y'all talking about? He said that y'all were in a relationship and he bought you. I say, this man ain't bought me no car. I have never been in a relationship with him. This man went so far as to lie to these people and act like me and him had a relationship. Okay? Act like me and him had a relationship. So again, black women, y'all want to know why we don't feel protected? Because we ain't being protected. Because we don't be protected. Okay, we always have to be on the defense. We always have to defend ourselves. Even when people do stuff to us, we still got to defend the reason why they did it to us. We got to still defend why they did it to us. I've been talking to you all for 43 minutes now. Okay, 43 minutes. I'm laughing to myself. It was no way for me to even shorten this situation. Young lady, my friend, my subscriber that wanted me to elaborate on it because you wanted to know what was my spiel on it. This is my whole spiel on this type of stuff. This is my whole spiel on it. Why we out here constantly seeming like we on defense as black women? Why we out here constantly always in these positions where it seems like we always gotta and protect ourselves? You know why? Because we pretty much always have to protect ourselves. That's the reason why. That's the reason why. That's the reason why. Ladies, I wish that it was something else that I could, you know, say that's the reason why black women, shall I say, feel so defensive. I wish there was something else that I could say that would even be the answer or the remedy to us not having to be in a position where we have to constantly protect ourselves, but really it's not. It's not. We feel the way we feel because this world has put us in a position of constant you got to look out for yourself. You got to look out for yourself, black woman. You have to look out for yourself. You're responsible for yourself, black woman. And you also are responsible for how others treat you, whether it's good or bad. And that's sad. That's sad that we feel that we have to feel like that. Okay. So now I'm jumping all the way back to what I said about my daughter that day in the mall when she was like, "Mom, why are you giving that man your number?" It's even to the point of how we say it's a generational thing. I taught my daughter very early on that you have to basically do stuff you don't even want to do in order to protect yourself. You have to do stuff you don't even want to do, like give men your number that you don't even want having your number. And now you just have to let them, and this was before the time of you can block people on your phone and this and that. Now, once you had at that time, if you had given someone your number, you just got to let them keep on calling and calling and calling, and you just don't answer until that person get tired of calling you or whatever. This is the type of thing that that was the only thing I even knew to think to teach my daughter. And now at 30 years old, it's funny. My daughter, with her not being subjected to as many things, especially now I'm sure as a maybe, you know, in her 20s and things like that. I'm sure she done had plenty of guys that have come up to her and said different stuff, and maybe she done had to brush them off and whatever, but she didn't have to experience the things that her mom experienced as a child. And I thank God for that. So my daughter is a tough little cookie. So pretty much, I'm pretty sure that if somebody walking up to her and she don't want to give them her number, that she's letting them know, no. Okay. Okay, because that girl I got is real sassy or whatever. So I know she's pretty much telling them no. But it's not because her mom didn't teach her, because her mom taught her that. I didn't teach her to tell them no. I taught her, go on and just get your number, baby, so you can avoid getting slapped, getting called out of your name, you know, something, being subjected to some sort of harsh or wrong treatment that you don't want to be subjected to. And that right there in itself is sad. It's sad that that's the type of thing that I had to teach my daughter in order to try to protect herself. Okay. So, ladies, everybody, I mean, I hope you all got something out of this, you know, as far as the reason why Black women don't feel protected, the reason why Black women, you know, I guess I didn't even went further. The reason why sometimes Black women seem like we're always on a defense. The reason why people want to say we're angry Black women. Yeah, I guess in a sense, we are angry about certain things. We angry about having to be this person that the world seems to think it's okay to disrespect us. It's okay to misuse us. It's okay to abuse us. That just whatever it is that somebody want to do, it's okay. Like, we don't have no say so over the type of treatment that we should receive. Like, we are not human beings, just like any other woman, any other person, period. But any other woman of other races, cultures, ethnicities, things of that nature. Yeah. So yeah, we are kind of, you know, a little bit more rough or a little bit more cautious or a little bit more on defense. We are, because we've been placed in this position where we have to. All right. So that's my long thought for the day, everybody. I hope you all get something out of this. If something that I've said on here really done hit home for you, where you saying, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I relate to this. I know, I mean, these type of things have happened to me. I understand what she's saying. Please share this. Please share this with somebody else that this could possibly have, because I'm not sitting here just sharing these things from my life, giving you all these long spills just because I don't have nothing else to do in my life. Y'all don't even know. Keita got a busy life. I have other stuff to do. But this right here is just as important as the other things that I have to do. So please share this with someone else that you think that this will be helpful to or for. Please, if you've been constantly watching me, subscribe. push that little subscribe thing right there. Subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to my channel so you can continue to get this daily motivation, continue to get the resources and things like that. And like it. Like it as well. If you like it, don't just like it in here. Don't just like it there. Like it on there too. Okay? Please like it. And as always, I want to wish you all safe travels out here in this world. I want to wish you all a blessed day. And I will talk to you all tomorrow. Bye.